prowess that he was able to do so. So those books were written in Arabic. They've been translated in a number of languages. There's a Machon in Haifa that has devoted itself to translating the Rambam's medical works into English, and they can be found in good libraries today if you're interested in looking at it. I have seen some PhD theses written on the medicine of the Rambam, etc. But it's not as a doctor that the Rambam finds his immortality or his fame, but it's rather in the realm of Torah and the realm of being the Jewish leader of his time that the Rambam's immortality was created. So therefore, the major books, the major works that I'm going to discuss with you deal with Torah, that deal with Judaism, with the ideas, especially the Rambam's view of things. When he was a young man and he was still in Morocco, in the caves of Morocco in the Atlas Mountains, of hiding from the Almohads, the Rambam begins his famous commentary to the Mishna, the Pirush HaMishnayot to the Mishna, commentary to the Mishna. And the commentary to the Mishna is written in Arabic. So here we have a departure already, which Rambam's an innovator in many, many areas. Until that book, practically, there were almost no major works written in Arabic in Halacha. There are a number of exceptions. One exception is the book of Emunos V'Deos, that was the book of beliefs and opinions written by Rabbi Saadia Gaon in the 9th century. Now, Rabbi Saadia Gaon's book of beliefs and opinions is really a book of philosophy. It's a book of Torah, but it's a book of philosophy. It's a philosophical treatise on the beliefs in present in Judaism and how they differ from the beliefs that are present in other religions. And the book was written in Arabic. It's been translated into Hebrew. It's also been translated into English. It was published by Yale University Press. Dr. Samuel Rosenblatt, who was a rabbi in Baltimore, who was the son of the great Chazan Yossele Rosenblatt, did the translation, and it has remained pretty much the basic translation in English today of the books of beliefs and opinions. So that was written in Arabic. Also, there was a small halachic work written by Rav Hai Gaon that we also find in Arabic. That could be that it was written in Hebrew originally and translated into the Arabic. But that's 11th century. But basically all the books that were written in Aramaic, Aramit, and in Hebrew. Now, Aramaic was always seen as the sister language for Hebrew. In fact, in the tradition of the Jewish people, Aramaic also has a holiness to it. And we find, for instance, in the Torah, many Aramaic words that were used. And the Jews in the Second Temple times spoke Aramaic. That was the lingua franca. That was the language that they spoke. There were different dialects of Aramaic. The Palestinian, the Yerushalayim dialect that you find, for instance, in the Talmud Yerushalmi is different than the dialect that is found in the Talmud Bavli in the Babylonian Talmud, though basically it's the same language. There still are people left in the world today that speak Aramaic as a language. In northern Syria and in other places in the world, there are still vestiges of people who speak Aramaic, and there were Jews that still spoke Aramaic as their language as late as the beginning of the 20th century. But the language of culture and of wide readership and intellectual discussion at the time of the Rambam was Arabic. Europe was far behind the Middle East in all matters of culture and civilization. It was just crawling out of the Dark Ages. And the Muslim world was at the peak of its intellectual prowess. One of the tragedies in our time is that the Muslim world got frozen. It not only was overtaken by the West, but it remained frozen in what it was before. And because of that, therefore, many of the problems that exist in world society today and many of the conflicts are simply due to that fact. It's very difficult in the 21st century to deal with 15th century people. And because of that, problems abound, as you all know. Now, the Rambam took and wrote this commentary to the Mishnah in Arabic. He wanted to do so because he wanted wide distribution of it. It was a language that people read. We, like in the United States, most of the Torah books that are written in English because of the fact that that's the language that's spoken and read and that people respond to. And therefore, Arabic was the English of its time. It was also the language that represented culture, poetry, prose, style. All of that was Arabic. And the Rambam, interestingly enough, wrote Arabic with Hebrew characters. Something that we find Jews did with other languages as well at different times in the exile. There are Jews that wrote German with Hebrew characters. But we have a great deal of the Rambam's own handwriting has been preserved, especially from the Geniza in Cairo. And there it's always written in Arabic, but it's always written in Hebrew letters. And since Arabic and Hebrew are similar languages in both Semitic, and they're similar in sound, etc., and they have many common words, so then it became acceptable amongst Jews to do that, to write Arabic in Hebrew characters. Now, in order for the book to come to the Ashkenazim, in order for it to come to the European Jews, it could not remain in Arabic. And therefore the Rambam had translators, people who took the Arabic version and translated it into Hebrew. Hebrew sprinkled with Aramaic, became the language of the Torah scholar. The masses didn't know Hebrew very well except for the prayers, but the Torah scholar was always the person that knew Hebrew because the Torah works concentrated on Hebrew. And one of his translators was a Jew by the name of Rabbi Yehuda al-Kharizi. There's a street named for him in Rehavia, in my neighborhood. And he was a linguist, and he was a poet, Spanish Jew. And he translated Seder Zroim, the first section of the Rambam's commentary to the Mishnah. He translated it into Hebrew. But the Rambam had official translators who translated his other works, the Mor Nevuchim, the Guide to the Perplexed, and other letters and things that he wrote, that translated them into Hebrew. And they were the Ibn Tibon family. Now, it was Shmuel and Yehuda, Ibn Tibon, father and son combination. They were Provençal Jews, Jews who lived in Provence. They were great fans of the Rambam. They corresponded with him. The Rambam saw their translations. And to a great extent, they became his official translators. In our time, there have been new translations. There was a great Jew here in